naira.
Papa, we are hungry. We need money for food.
See, I don't have money. Do you want me to steal money for you?
His 6 children stood in the rain outside their father's shop, begging him for 200 naira to buy bread. Inside, Okonkwo sat counting 847,000 naira he'd saved for 20 years. He locked the door and watched them walk away hungry. That night, his youngest stopped breathing. Okonkwo was 52 years old and owned the biggest provision shop in Umueze village. Every evening, he counted his money bundles of naira notes hidden in old paint buckets, sewn into mattresses, buried in tins under the ground. 20 years of saving, 847,000 naira. His wife, Adaora, was 40 years old but looked 60. Her wrapper was faded and torn in 3 places. Her slippers were held together with wire. Every morning she woke at 4 a.m. to sweep the compound, fetch water from the stream, and think about how to feed 6 children with nothing. "Mama, I'm hungry," 7-year-old Chidera whispered that Tuesday morning. Adaora's heart broke, again, like it broke every single day. "Wait, my child, let me see what I can find." She walked to her husband's shop. Okonkwo was arranging new drinks on his shelf, Coke, Fanta, Sprite, cartons and cartons of them, each bottle worth 50 naira. "My husband, the children need to eat. Can you give me 200 naira for rice?" Okonkwo didn't look up. "I don't have money, but you just bought new drinks. That is business money, not for eating. Tell those children to manage. What do they think this is, a palace?" Adaora walked back home, her eyes dry. She had no more tears left. 20 years of marriage, 20 years of begging, 20 years of watching her children suffer while their father's money did nothing but pile up. She found 35 naira in her old purse. At the market, she bought the smallest measure of gari. That evening, 6 children shared 1 pot of gari and water. No soup, no salt, just gari mixed with water. 14-year-old Chukudi, the oldest, didn't eat. "I'm not hungry, Mama. Share mine to the small ones." But Adaora saw his hands shaking. She knew he was starving. At the village square that evening, the women gathered to gossip. "You see Okonkwo's children? Ah, those children are suffering. That man has money, his shop is full, but his own children are walking barefoot. Adaora is a strong woman. Any other woman would have left. Strong? She's dying, look at her, thin like broom." That night, 12-year-old Amara couldn't sleep. Her stomach was paining her too much. She held her belly and cried quietly so her mother wouldn't hear. In the next room, Okonkwo counted his money again, 847,000 naira. He smiled and went to sleep peacefully. Outside, his children were starving. On Wednesday morning, the school teacher sent Chukudi home. "Your PTA fee's 5,000 naira. If your father doesn't pay by Friday, don't come back." Chukudi walked the 5 kilometers home, his school uniform torn at the shoulder, his textbook held together with rubber bands. Other children laughed at him. He said nothing. He found his mother washing clothes by hand in a bucket. The soap was finished, so she was using only water. "Mama, the teacher said Papa must pay 5,000 naira, or I cannot go to school anymore." Adaora sat down on the ground. 5,000 naira for Chukwudi alone. But there were 6 children, all needing school fees, all needing books, all needing uniforms. She went to Okonkwo's shop again. "My husband Chukwudi will be expelled on Friday. They need 5,000 naira. Okonkwo slammed his hand on the counter. 5,000 naira. For what? To read books? I didn't go to university and see how successful I am. That boy should learn trade. School is waste of money. But he's brilliant. his teacher says. I don't have money. Stop disturbing me. Adaura walked away. This time, one tear fell. Just one. That afternoon, 4-year-old Obiageli fell sick. Fever. Her small body was burning hot. She couldn't eat. She couldn't play. She just lay on the mat, crying weakly. Mama, my body is paining me. Adaura felt her forehead. Very hot. She needed to take her to the clinic. The clinic charged 500 naira. She searched everywhere. Under the mat, in old pots, in her wrapper pockets. She found 85 naira total. She went to Okonkwo. Third time that day. Obiageli is very sick. She's burning with fever. I need 500 naira for clinic. Okonkwo looked at his youngest daughter, lying limp in her mother's arms. He felt something maybe concern, but then he thought about his money. 847,000 naira. If he kept spending it, it would finish. Use local herbs. Our mothers didn't go to clinic and they survived. These children are too soft. Adaora begged a neighbor for bitter leaf. She boiled it and gave it to Obiageli. The child was too weak to drink it. That evening, the village gathered for a meeting. Okonkwo sat proudly in the front row. He had donated 200 naira for the village hall renovation. Everyone clapped for him. But when he left, they whispered, 200 naira for village hall, but his children are starving. That man's heart is stone. God is watching him. Friday came. Chukwudi didn't go to school. He sat at home, staring at his books. Adaora watched her brilliant son top of his class, losing his future because of 5,000 naira. That night, she used her last 50 naira to buy rice. She cooked it with only salt and water. 6 children shared the pot. Each child got 4 spoons. Obiageli was still sick, getting weaker. Sunday morning, the whole village was at church. Adaora had woken early to bathe the children with cold water, no money for firewood to heat it. She dressed them in their only church clothes, washed and re-washed so many times that they were almost transparent. Obiageli was worse. Much worse. Her fever had climbed higher. Her lips were dry and cracked. She could barely open her eyes. Mama, I can't go to church. I'm tired, she whispered. Fear gripped Adaora's heart. We must go. We'll pray for you. God will heal you. At church, Obiageli sat on her mother's lap, her small body trembling. Halfway through the service, she went limp. Obiageli! Obiageli! Adaora screamed. The church exploded into chaos. People rushed forward. Someone ran to get water. The pastor began to pray. Okonkwo sat frozen in his seat, watching his youngest daughter unconscious in his wife's arms. We need to take her to the hospital. Now, the pastor shouted. Who has a car? Mr. Eze, the village teacher, ran to get his car. They rushed Obiageli to the general hospital 20 kilometers away. The doctor examined her quickly. Severe malaria, complicated by malnutrition. This child is severely malnourished. How long has she been sick? 3 days, Adaora sobbed. 3 days? And you're just bringing her now? She could have died. The words hit Okonkwo like a physical blow. Could have died. His daughter, his baby, could have died. We need to admit her immediately. The bill will be around 15,000 naira for treatment and admission. Okonkwo reached for his pocket, then stopped. 15,000 naira. That was too much. His savings, I don't have that kind of money now. Mr. Eze stepped forward. I'll pay. Save the child first. The teacher, who earned 35,000 naira per month and had 4 children of his own, paid 15,000 naira to save Okonkwo's daughter. Okonkwo stood there, ashamed. The whole village was watching. The man with the biggest shop in Umueze, the man who counted money every night, standing there while a poor teacher saved his child. They admitted Obiageli. She was put on drips, given medicine, given food. Within hours, her eyes opened. "Papa!" she whispered, seeing her father. Okonkwo looked at her, this tiny, fragile child he had almost killed. Almost killed because he was too stingy to spend 500 naira. He saw her thin arms, her ribs showing through her skin, her hollow cheeks, and for the first time in 20 years, Okonkwo saw clearly. He saw his wife's worn face, his son's torn uniform, his children's hungry eyes. He saw what his stinginess had done. He fell to his knees beside the hospital bed and wept. Monday morning, Okonkwo didn't open his shop. Instead, he went to every hiding place and gathered his money. All of it, 847,000 naira. 20 years of savings. He brought it home and spread it on the table. Adaora stared in shock. She had never seen so much money. "This is what I've been saving," Okonkwo said, his voice breaking. "While our children starved, while you suffered, while Obiageli almost died, I was saving for what? For a future?" He laughed bitterly. "I almost destroyed our future trying to save for it." He took 50,000 naira. Today, we're buying food, real food, meat, rice, everything. Adaora couldn't speak. She just cried. They went to the market together. For the first time in their marriage, they shopped like a real family. Rice, 4 large bags, beans, yam, cooking oil, tomatoes, onions, and meat. Lots of meat. The children's eyes went wide when they saw the food. "Mama, is this all for us?" Chidera whispered. "Yes, my child, all for us." That evening, they ate like they had never eaten before. Jollof rice with chicken. The children ate until their bellies were full, actually full. Some of them cried while eating. They had forgotten what it felt like to not be hungry. Tuesday, Okonkwo went to the school. He paid all the fees for all 6 children. 30,000 naira total. The headmaster was shocked. "Okonkwo, is this really you?" "Yes, and I want to pay for next term also. I don't want my children to ever be sent home again." He bought new uniforms, new shoes, new books, new bags. When Chukudi put on his new uniform, he looked like a different child. Wednesday, Okonkwo took Adaora to the tailor. "Measure her for 6 new wrappers, the finest material. My wife deserves the best." The tailor almost fainted. "Okonkwo, buying finest material? And new slippers? And a new head tie? Everything new." Adaora cried in the tailor's shop. 20 years. 20 years of suffering. And now this. Thursday, Okonkwo went to Mr. Eze's house with 25,000 naira. "You saved my daughter when I was too blind to do it myself. This is your money back, with appreciation." Mr. Eze tried to refuse, but Okonkwo insisted. "Please, let me begin to repair the damage I've done." Friday evening, Okonkwo called a family meeting. His 6 children sat before him, their bellies full for the first time in their lives, wearing new clothes. "I was a bad father," he said simply. "I chose money over you. I was wicked. I was foolish. I almost killed your sister because of my stinginess. Can you forgive me?" Chukudi spoke first. "Papa, we forgive you." One by one, his children hugged him. Okonkwo held them and wept. These beautiful children, he had almost destroyed them. 6 months later, the Okonkwo household was transformed. The children were healthy, their cheeks full, their eyes bright. Chukudi was back at the top of his class. Amara had joined the school choir. Even little Obiageli was running around, playing, laughing, completely healed. Adaora looked 10 years younger. Her new wrappers were beautiful. Her face was peaceful. She smiled now. Real smiles. Okonkwo had changed completely. Every evening he came home from the shop and asked, "What do the children need? What do you need, my wife?" He spent money freely on his family. He made sure there was always food, always school fees, always medicine when needed. The village noticed. The same women who had gossiped now said, "Ah, see Okonkwo now. See how he's changed. His family is blessed." One evening, the pastor came to visit. "Okonkwo, people are talking about your transformation. They want to know what happened." Okonkwo smiled sadly. "I almost lost everything while trying to save everything. I thought money in the bank was wealth, but I was the poorest man in Umueze. My children were starving. My wife was dying. My family was broken. What is 847,000 naira compared to my daughter's life? What is money compared to my children's future?" The pastor nodded. "And now?" "Now I know the truth. The richest man is not the one with the most money in his account. The richest man is the one whose children sleep with full bellies, whose wife smiles with joy, whose family is healthy and happy. I spent 20 years collecting money, but money cannot buy back the years my children suffered. Money cannot erase my wife's pain. Money cannot return the childhood I stole from them." That Sunday, Okonkwo stood in church and testified, "I was blind, but now I see. I thought I was wise, but I was the greatest fool. Brothers and sisters, don't be like I was. Don't sacrifice your family on the altar of saving. Don't let your children starve while money sits idle. Don't wait until tragedy strikes before you open your eyes." The congregation was silent. Many men looked down, convicted. And so the village learned that money saved for tomorrow is worthless if you destroy your family today. Okonkwo had spent 20 years hoarding money for a future he was too blind to see he was destroying. But money cannot buy back a daughter's health, a son's education, a wife's youth, or children's stolen childhood. The richest man is not the one with the most money hidden away, but the one whose family is thriving, loved, and cared for. For what is wealth if your children are crying from hunger? What is security if your family is broken? What profit is there in saving everything but losing the very people you're saving it for? In the end, Okonkwo learned what his money could never teach him. True wealth is measured not in what you keep, but in what you give to those you love.